Time for today's latest installment of our top 10 coaching list. We're up to number 7. Yesterday was NFC West coach Kyle Shanahan of the San Francisco 49ers. Today, another NFC West coach. And these two are bitter rivals. Kyle Shanahan and not Pete Carroll, not yet. Sean McVay comes in at number 7. Now, some of you may say that's too low. I think it's just right. When you consider everything McVay has done and hasn't done, he's been to 2 Super Bowls. That's good. He's won 1. That's very good. But they did that whole drunken sailor all in, splash the pot, Teddy KGB, spinning Oreos. They went all in and it worked. They won a Super Bowl with this F them picks mindset that had them collecting veteran players, paying them a ton of money. But that's just one piece of the puzzle. Where are they now? Where are the Rams now? You're only as good as your players. Sean McVay, great offensive mind, but you still need players. Last year, didn't have an offensive line. Last year, Matthew Stafford banged up most of the year, couldn't throw in the offseason program, had issues with the elbow in training camp. Once they started playing games, got banged up because the offensive line wasn't very good. Cam Akers didn't deliver early on, was in the doghouse, and then finally turned it around. Cooper Kupp gets injured during the season. Allen Robinson never worked out. It created a pretty dramatic fall. One of the most dramatic drops we've seen in a long time, from Super Bowl champion to team that was just kind of trying to hold it all together. So where do they go from here? McVay can go higher on the list, depending upon what they do this year. But they wrote that big check. It worked. It was time to pay the piper last year. And now, where do they go? And look, I'm influenced by the fact that there's just been this sense that McVay just is holding on so tight. He's burning the candle at both ends and in the middle, that he's close to burning out entirely. And look, I know it's funny. When he was considering not coming back this year and people were reporting it, it was real. He was considering not coming back. So when he decides to come back, Rams fans who were nervous about the possibility he was going to leave acted like he was never considering leaving in the first place, that the reporting that he was considering leaving was wrong because he ultimately decided not to leave, which is just ludicrous. He was thinking about leaving. And I believe if he could have gotten one of the cushy 15 to 20 million a year TV jobs, he would have left. The ship had sailed on Amazon. They weren't going to put him in a 3-man booth with Kirk Herbstreit and Al Michaels. That wasn't going to happen. Herbstreit got the job that McVay could have had a year earlier, that McVay thought about taking then. And the way I understand it, McVay was stunned by the reaction, both within the team and beyond, when he was considering getting away while the getting was good. So, hey, he's still in the top 10. There's a Super Bowl winning coach who didn't make the top 10 and Mike McCarthy. McVay's there. Where he goes depends on what happens this year and beyond. You got to have great players. The problem is they went all in with great veteran players to the detriment of building a nucleus of young players who become the core of your team. And now, without those picks, since 2016, they haven't had a first-round pick. Where are the guys that you would have drafted the past 3 or 4 years who would become the key players on your team? And they trade Jalen Ramsey. And I really, look, people think this is a hot take. I don't think Aaron Donald is going to play for the Rams next year. I think he'll be playing for someone else. I think he gets traded after this season or retires. And I think Matthew Stafford, there's a good chance he won't be back next year either. I saw Mike Lombardi last week saying exactly what we've been hearing the entire offseason. The Rams would have loved to have traded Matthew Stafford before he got another $59 million in fully guaranteed money. And that's another thing, too. I mean, they got so swept up in the fact that they won a Super Bowl, they started just giving out more money to everybody. Stafford got more money. Kupp got more money. Donald got more money. And now this year, lo and behold, they were in the same mode that they were in 2 years ago when they couldn't wait to get rid of Jared Goff because of the ridiculous contract they gave him in 2019. So to the extent that McVay has a lot to say over personnel, he's got responsibility for the fact that this team isn't as good as it was not that long ago and now has to, on the fly, retool without the benefit of that class and classes of first-round picks that they had willingly given up for established veteran players. Those picks that they had used or had traded and not used would now be guys that could maybe make the team a lot better. So there's no shame in being number 7. Some would think he should be higher. As I said earlier, you could make the case he would be even lower than number 7. I think 7 was a good compromise. Within the PFT writer community, I would have put McVay lower than 7. I was convinced to put him higher than where I would have put him. So number 7 is where McVay comes in. We'll do number 6 tomorrow. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.